Hey guys, happy Saturday. So, I just wanted to really thank you for such a positive response on my last video and for the wishes people said to me and the messages I received after in the comments. Like, it really means so much to me. And, God definitely has a plan. And just you guys gave me a lot of reassurance and comfort. So, I really appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day so far. I managed to go to the gym. I don't know how. I woke up and really did not want to go. It was one of those days. But then Saturdays are the day that I really push myself. Marissa, Liz, and we really work out really intensely on Saturdays. So I feel pretty good now, but it was definitely hard to get there. Today's video, I want to talk about the burden of fear. So many of us live in the bondage of fear and the bondage of fear and anxiety that I think go hand in hand. I think those of us who suffer with anxiety also struggle with fear. Fear of the future, fear of the unknown, fear of job loss, fear of marriage crisis, just fear of so many different things. And it's important to know that Jesus has been where we are. You know, he has been in the same place and he has been fearful. You just look to the Bible and you look to when he went to the Mount of Olives and his followers went with him, and he said to them, "Pray for strength against temptation." And then Jesus went about a stone's throw away from them. He kneeled down and prayed, "Father, if you were willing, take away this cup of suffering, but do what you want, not what I want." Then an angel from heaven appeared to him to strengthen him. Being full of pain, Jesus prayed even harder. His sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground, and that's found in Luke. And when he prayed that, it's important. He said, "Do what you want, not what I want." You know, we may want things that God does not want for us. For whatever reason, he knows it's going to harm us, it's going to harm those around us, and he knows better than we do in every situation. So fear really is from the enemy. The enemy wants you to live a life of fear. The enemy wants you to live stuck in wondering about the future, stuck wondering about the past, stuck wondering about stuff that you have no business worrying about. And we all do it. I am so prone to fear. And because I do struggle with anxiety, and that's why I really believe that they go hand in hand. And it just really shows in this chapter that in that example, he was full of pain. He fell to the ground. He was very sad and troubled. It's a scene that we can paint in our heads that can really show us that he has been where we are. And I think we could argue that fear was one of the emotions he felt in that moment. You know, it's not depicted specifically, but I definitely think we can argue that he was afraid because he didn't know what was going to happen. And fear is worry's big brother. And if worry is a burlap bag, fear is a trunk of concrete. So what an interesting alliteration there. Like we're carrying around a huge trunk full of concrete because we're being afraid, because we have fear. And we don't even know that that's what we're doing. But oftentimes fear stops us, and it really does. It blocks us from the Lord blessing us further. It blocks us from receiving what he has for us. It blocks us from being happy and having joy. And joy is a fruit of the Spirit. Peace is a fruit of the Spirit. And, you know, he did not give us a spirit of fear. He did not give us a spirit of fear. And I just believe that this chapter has definitely opened my eyes because, you know, he requested strength in that moment when he said, "Father, if you are willing, take away this cup of suffering." We'll do so many different things before we go to God. We'll go grab a drink to calm down. We'll go watch something we shouldn't watch, pornography, inappropriate movies, inappropriate internet videos. We'll just literally get lost in Netflix, and I've had trouble with that. I actually have not watched my show that I'm literally obsessed with in almost 2 weeks because I'm really trying to fill my head with other things and can see that that was causing some more anxiety for me. So we need to go to Jesus first. It's important to have counsel. It's important to have a counselor and wise counsel around you, but God is the first one that we need to go to because he holds the key. He knows all of the answers that he can reveal to us. Not only do we need to pray, we need to be willing to listen to God's response to our prayer. And that's super important. So I'm just so glad that I came across this chapter, and we can't avoid what goes on in our life. We need to enter them, but we need to understand we're not entering them alone. We're entering them with Jesus right by our side. He is right there, and we need to be honest when we go to him. Sometimes you don't know what to say when you're praying, when you're so upset, and like God knows your heart. But we need to be honest, and crying is okay. Feeling that way is perfectly okay. It's okay to not be okay sometimes. Despite what people might tell you, it's okay to not be okay sometimes. And he doesn't think that your fears are foolish or silly, because he's been where you are. He's been where we've been. What a comfort to know that we have a Savior that we can put our lives and our trust in, who has been exactly where we are. And we need to punctuate the prayers the same way that Jesus did. If you are willing, take this cup from me. If you are willing, if it's in your will, Father, please take this cup from me. And, based upon yesterday's video, I could say the same thing. If you're willing, please take these health issues away from me. And I realized that no test, no testimony. And I'm really grateful that I have the people around me to remind me of that I've gone through things that have been really difficult. But God has given me reassurance that it's part of his plan, because the amount of people who just reached out after I shared that, I know that he wants us to share our stories that we go through for a reason, that, we may never understand. Like, I may never understand why a chemical pregnancy happened to me right now, but maybe down the road I will see it. And I believe that, because God his promises are always true, and we can always stand on those. So, he did not take away the cross from Jesus, but he took the fear away. He calmed the sailor, but didn't take the storm away. You're going to have storms. You're going to be walking through the valley, the mountains. It's not always going to be sunshine all the time. And God can do the same thing for us. Philippians 4:6, one of my favorite verses. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. So, with thanksgiving, be thankful. Still thank God for what you're going through, even though you may not understand it, because he knows and he understands it. And don't measure the size of the mountain. Talk to the one who can move it. He moves mountains. He parts seas. The same power that rose Jesus from the grave lives in you and lives in me. And that's what we need to remember. Like, we have that power inside of us, and we're choosing every day how we feel. Choose to not be afraid today. Choose to be inspired. Choose to be joyful, peaceful. Just choose. Make the choice to not let the enemy have that fear over you and use it, because he will. He will use it. So, hope is literally a look away. And, instead of carrying the world on our shoulders, we need to look to the one that holds the universe in his hand. He created the universe. He holds it in his hand. So I encourage you today to not be afraid. I encourage you to know that God knows what's best for you and knows what your future holds. So he's already there. He's already there. There's no reason to worry about things that have not yet to come. Like I said the other day, today has enough worries of its own. So I really hope this encourages you guys. Like, I have learned so much from reading this book. And just remember, again, like, Jesus knows, Jesus understands. He has been where you are, where I am. And, he cried out to God and said, if you're willing, take this cup. If it's your will, take this cup away. Thy will be done. A huge, song I've actually been listening to by Hillary Scott from Lady Antebellum, Thy Will Be Done. And it's like a child on my knees, all that comes to me is Thy will be done. Those 4 simple words. I really pray that you guys can just give this to him and know that he understands, and he will replace your fear with peace if you allow it. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I really am so thankful for all of your support, and it means a lot to me. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this with those who need it. Stay blessed, stay encouraged, and know that God is for you. Bye, guys.